Rock Metal Nation, what is up? Real quick before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that Rock Metal Studios, the very same studio that brings you the Rock Metal podcast, is looking to help bands who are able to record their tracks either at home or in a professional recording studio, but need some help mixing. Go ahead and send me an email at therockmetalpodcast@gmail.com. That's therockmetalpodcast@gmail.com. We can go ahead and discuss mixing your tracks for free. The Rock Metal Podcast, episode 133 with Society's Plague. All right, awesome. I don't know why that got me so excited. Probably because earlier I was messing around with this chick, and she's like, "What should I call you?" And I was like, "El Capitan Grande, please."
That's great.
It's gonna like become our thing. She's like, "So, Captain," I'm like, "El Capitan Grande." You have to say the whole thing.
You need an eye patch. You need an eye patch next time, and every time add an article of clothing. Get the hat, then get a hook.
Exactly. And we'll get into this later, but almost the entire song of Rise of the Eidolon, especially in the intro, suddenly I find myself on a ship somewhere.
Good.
That could work. I could see that.
Victoria. All right, let's rock and roll. So, Rock Metal Nation, what is up? This is John from the Rock Metal Podcast. That sample you just heard was Ashes for Air by Society's Plague, who I've got on the show with me right now. They've got a new album called Call to the Void, set to release via Eclipse Records later this month on April 27th. Right now I'm being joined by guitarist Joe Royer and vocalist Matt Newton to share some stories about the music and share more info about the band. So, guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us
Yeah,
on.
thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Let's go listen back to that track, Ashes for Air. coming back. Definitely an epic intro that does not let up throughout the song, guys.
Yep, that's what we're going for.
Yeah, we wanted something just super fast, super impactful. It's the first thing you hear on the album. It's the track one, and we just wanted something that really just had a lot of intensity to it. And I'm really happy that one kind of turned out exactly how it did for that reason.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious, when you guys were writing the album, where in there was Ashes for Air? Was it one of the first tracks that you guys wrote? Was it somewhere online where, like, it just screamed out to you, hey, I want to be the first track on the album?
It was probably one of the first songs that we started writing that we were like, this is definitely going to be definitely on the album.
Yeah, so we had actually been writing. We wrote an album before this one, and we decided to just kind of take a little bit of a break after that, just to kind of do some other stuff and get some creative juices flowing. And that was one that was kind of in the works. It had been started, and we all came back together and we're like, let's do something. Let's do something really cool, something fast. And that one jumped out, and everyone was like, yeah, this one's going to be fun. And it came together really quickly. It had that energy of it's been a while since we've written, and it was the first one for Call to the Void that we really sat down and hammered out and had just like a vision for. So it's one of my personal favorites.
Same.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that it's been a while since you guys had written before you got to that one, but it doesn't sound like it at all.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we've all been thinking about it. So to say that we took a break from music isn't accurate. We've all been writing ideas and kind of preparing for this eventual just re-meeting. We knew it would happen.
Yeah. Now I'm curious, what's the story or inspiration behind maybe even the lyrics or the music for Ashes for Air?
So this one's a big one for me. It's pretty straightforward. Normally I write a lot of lyrics in metaphor, to use other imagery to create a point. And this one, fitting with the theme of the album, it's really about like a panic attack, just having that feeling of not being able to breathe, of like you might actually die. And it's not something that I've just experienced personally, but I've had friends and family and people I care about go through it. And it's something, and there's no other real message to it other than just the experience. Ashes for Air is when you're in the middle of a storm and you don't know when it's going to end. And I think the music really was what reminded me of that feeling. It was just nonstop. It kept going. It let up for a second, then it just went and kept going. And that was kind of my thought process and vision for it.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess on the music end, I don't think about it that hard. I just was writing a cool song, and I was like, I'm going to just keep this intense the whole time. Never let it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now, for Rock Metal Nation who just dug the track Ashes for Air, if you go ahead and go to today's show notes, that's www.therockmetalpodcast.ca. As a bonus, you can go to the music video for Ashes for Air. Now, I had read up on the story behind the music video, and then also we kind of lightly chatted about it a bit in the pre-roll, but for Rock Metal Nation who currently has absolutely no idea, go ahead and take us through the story of the music video for Ashes for Air.
So for that one, there's one of my best friends and a longtime friend of the band. He is a youth minister at a local church here, and he's got a room that they don't use. And we told him the concept of the album and the concept of the song, and he's like, "Well, this one's really creepy. We don't use it because weird stuff happens whenever we're not there." And it was just kind of a thing that they all, just don't like to go down there, and it was perfect.
In the basement, obviously.
In the basement, obviously. And they've just had a lot of weird stuff happen. And then, there was some little things, and they just decided to close it to the public, so they don't use it for anything. No one goes down there. No one goes in there because stuff falls over randomly and noises and things move. So we were like, what better place to have a music video about maybe dying?
Yep. We walked in there, and we were like, oh, yep, this is definitely the place.
This is good, yeah. No, and on top of that, there was just, it was leaking. There was water. It was musty, It added to the vibe, and we slipped a bunch of times and fell, and it was great.
Yep.
Awesome. Let's go and listen to the next track, Rise of the Eidolon. Rock Metal Nation? It's John from the Rock Metal Podcast for a real quick break to let you know that Jay over at Metal Mayhem Radio is looking to help you get your band in rotation on his station. So go ahead and hit up Jay at studio@metalmayhemradio.co.uk. That is studio@metalmayhemradio.co.uk. Just go ahead and say that the Rock Metal Podcast sent you. He'll get you into rotation on Metal Mayhem Radio. All right, coming back from Rise of the Eidolon now. I know in the pre-roll I mentioned this because we mentioned talking about captains, but I don't know, it's so epic. I find myself on a ship sailing heroically onto new frontiers. And it's even got an epic chorus to go with it. Just take us through this track. What's the story or inspiration behind Rise of the Eidolon?
So from the lyric side of it, because it's always a little different. We all write together, and then I kind of let the music take me on a path. And a long time ago, we wrote a song called Forged by Fury, and it was a very epic song. And I like the idea of having a story or a small concept to add a visual to it. And this really put me back in that same mode. So that whole song, and Eidolon is a kind of like a wraith. It's in like a Greek and Viking history and different things like that. They raise the dead. And I thought it was kind of it fit into the theme metaphorically of the album of kind of overcoming things, but it's also just a battle tune, man. You've got, the video is going to be really cool. I can't wait to share that when it comes out. And it's going to be epic. We wanted something with swords and knights and fighting and overcoming and chanting and Vikings, wizards and pirates and just anything that brought you to that vibe.
That very accurately describes the video, minus the pirates, maybe. Maybe.
Throwing a pirate or two. So incredibly anthemic, maybe even cathartic. Now, you guys mentioned a bit about the theme of the album. Now, you guys have Call to the Void dropping April 27th. Go ahead and take us through the album. What should we expect?
Well, I think we have a bunch of new songs on there, obviously, but we took that break from doing stuff in the band for a while. So this is, a couple years of just little riffs we wrote over time and put them all together, worked as a team, and got this album out. And it's all songs that we all love. Like, we went into it saying we weren't going to record any songs that we didn't really all love. And we ended up cutting a song because of that. So just a really solid album, no filler material, just good all the way through.
Yeah, we went through and just diagnosed what it was that we wanted to play and what kind of music we wanted to put out there. And we all are big fans of a lot of that Swedish melodic death metal and a lot of that stuff, but we have that American influence here. We wanted to showcase guitar harmonies, just chuggy rhythms, fast drums, vocals that can be a little versatile, and lyrics that could inspire or at least give the feeling that in something you're experiencing you might not be alone in that, and have some of that camaraderie. So we wanted to have stuff that sometimes made you feel anxious, that sometimes uplifted you, that sometimes was sad or expressed that really sad emotion, and sometimes was just for fun. And that's the human experience, isn't it? It's the range of those emotions. And we kind of hope that when we were writing the album, we believe now with hearing it all together that from the beginning to the end that we kind of go on that journey together. If you're listening to it, we want you to feel that way that we felt and just have fun all the way through it.
Yeah.
Wow. Absolutely. Now, speaking of Swedish influence, there was a guest vocalist on the album, correct?
This is correct.
Go ahead and take us through that. That's exciting.
Man, so we're really big Soilwork fans, specifically our drummer, JD. He has a different Soilwork shirt for every day of the week.
It's true.
And we just saw an opportunity to potentially work with him on a song. We reached out and we're able to work out that. And, it was really cool. We kind of left it open. We gave him the song, and we kind of were like, we're going to do some dueling vocals, and what do you think? And honestly, I wanted to take a back seat and let him kind of do some stuff because I wanted to see what he would come up with, and it was really cool. And I got some parts back, and I've laid mine down, around it, and we worked together, and it came out really, really well. It's one of the coolest songs I think on there, and it's one that we're really geeked out about because we got Bjorn on the song, and it's a really cool milestone for us.
Cool stuff. Now, for Rock Metal Nation, who is currently frothing at the ears, they've heard Ashes for Air, they've heard Rise of the Eidolon, they're incredibly excited about Call to the Void coming out April 27th. The next logical question is, how can they find out more about you? Is there a website that they should go to?
Well, we have our own website, societiesplague.com. that we update and have all our stuff on there. We also are very active on our Facebook page. If you search for Society's Plague on Facebook, you'll find us. And we're on every other social media thing as well. So
yeah, for your Twitter handle, we're at Society's Plague for Instagram, and Society's Plague Band for YouTube. So it's pretty straightforward. We made it as easy as possible to get a hold of us, and we love talking to people. So comment, ask us questions. At least one of us are always on social media. We love to interact as much as we can with people.
Yeah, I think our Facebook thing says like average response time to messages like 2 minutes or something stupid low.
We love hearing from people.
All right, fantastic. Now, guys, is there anything else you wanted to throw out there? I just wanted to thank you for taking time out of your day to come on to the Rock Metal Podcast and sharing Society's Plague with Rock Metal Nation.
Thanks for having us on. We hope you guys dig everything that you've heard today. If you do, share it, tell your friends, tell your family, and keep listening to the Rock Metal Podcast.
Yep.
All right, Rock Metal Nation. Hopefully you just found your new favorite band in Society's Plague. Big thanks again to them for coming on and sharing their music with us. Make sure to head over to www.therockmetalpodcast.ca to get all the information on the show you just heard today. And until then, rock on, Rock Metal Nation.